I don't want to waste power. I especially don't want to waste coal. It's important that we don't. Wow, we've already smashed through the level 5 hype train. Really? Oh my lord. Another 146%. My goodness. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you very much to Ainin for the cheer, to Full Metal for another cheer, to Crispy Goth for 5 gift subs. Thank you. Thank you very much to the Longhoff for another cheer. 500-bit cheer. Thank you, buddy. And to Kanan Shadowwalker for the Prime subscription. Diolch yn fawr. You only have one of those to use and you decided to use it here. Thank you. Really appreciate it. And Negnol for their continued subscription. 7 months. Hype. Well, everyone in the hype train, you can look forward to more hype emotes, level 5 hype emotes if you have any of those slots still open. Not many people in my community do. I wonder why. I wonder why they all fill up their hype slots so quickly. Thank you, everyone. Benjay, Aavak, I've been watching your stream while I make vegetable lasagna. Even if I completely screw it up, it'll still be far better food than the duplicants can dream of. That is true, actually. Mind you, their barbecue does look pretty amazing. That Zangiri, thank you very much for the cheer, mate. To Univenon, thank you very much for the 7 months. I'm helping. Indeed you are, buddy. Indeed you are. Lux Barbman, thank you very much for the 269 bits there. This is the last of my bits. Every last one. It is a sign. Thank you, mate. Cheers very much to Derek for the whomping great cheer there. Thank you, mate. Wow. This is fantastic. Thank you so much, everyone. We've crested the 200%. There's still more or less 2 minutes left to go of this hype train. You've already smashed the level 5 hype train tonight. That's 2 in a row in one stream. Like I said, thank you so much for the support. It is beyond measure right now. Thank you so much. John Mski, I think I've got your name right there. Thank you very much for the cheer as well, buddy. Right, you know what? I just realized we don't want to do that one yet. Because if I do, I'm not going to be able to build that ceiling easily. Instead, I want to just dig that back. If we can. Now, at this point, we're just letting in a whole heap of not goodness. Ooh. You've got some goodness over there, though. We might need to make a beeline for that, actually. We are going to want to set up the coal generators down here just to get the power for this, but we'll see how that one goes in the near-ish future. Cutting through there wouldn't be too terribly bad, but I kind of want to see what all of that is over there. Let's dig in that direction. It looks like, yeah, it looks like a coal biome. Got polluted water there. Oh, it'll be the ice that's melted. That's what that'll be. We'll eventually make this corridor nice and wide so we can walk through it properly. Would an underground beeline be a mole line? What? I have no idea. I am confused. Okay, damn it. I need to snooze. Have fun, lovelies. Oh, take care, Cancer. Have a wonderful sleep, darling. By the way, Aavak, any chance you might try Eratus? I've heard of it, but I've not really properly had time to look into it. Honestly, I've been so busy with just life in general these past few weeks. It was a nightmare to get the ferret's flea treatment. It was so hard. I mean, I understand why. Everywhere's closed down, all that sort of stuff, but it was difficult to get all of that sorted. And then to sort out Tilly's free treatment because think that hers has become less effective because she's been on the same one for so long. So we're looking at changing her treatment there. And that was a bit rough. On top of Sheila being sick and my lord. We're getting there. Good night, Cariad. Come in to relax and adjust to my meds in a dapper environment. Gonna be lurking. Okay, Hibiscus Mist. Have a nice lurk. But thank you so much, everyone. We absolutely smashed that hype train. Congrats, everyone, for your new emotes. You could go ahead and share them as you can. I got a new level 4 one. Hype bounce. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please do share your emotes in chat. Don't be afraid. Nightbot doesn't bite unless you spam really badly. Right, and with that, we can get back to getting things done. Yes, I know it's hot. And that sucks. Trust me, I know. Oof, that really sucks, actually, because so much heat is being bled in there. We need these to be done on a much, much higher priority. Chop, chop. Now, if we can tap into this cold biome, we can let some of that cold bleed in and maybe counteract the heat a bit, is my thinking. Whether it works that way or not, who knows. Just letting some of this cold water get through. Oh my god, that's a lot of cold water, mind you. That's 892 kilos of cold water. I mean, sure, but wow. Still, I'm going to try and do it. I'm going to tap into that to try and pull that across. Let that cool down this area a little bit. We'll see how that goes. What are we doing for food? We're still doing okay for food, so that's at least something. What's everyone else working on? Let's follow around our dupes for a little bit. Let's just make sure they're doing okay. They can barely breathe, which is slowing everything down. That's a big one. They've got almost no oxygen in the bedrooms, which is awful. Unfortunately. Let's get a deodorizer up and running where we can. Just a little one there. Maybe a little one here as well would be useful. Yeah, I am prioritizing it. It's on 7, which is the highest priority that I've got for building tasks right now, I think. Yeah. So we should be okay with that. Kiln and Rock Crusher have been set up. Marvelous. Next job. Well, until we've got the materials, I'm not going to worry about it, actually. Let's go ahead and build this, though. Right about there. You guys can hook that up. Replacing this battery would probably be worthwhile, though. Let's go ahead and deconstruct that. Get that out of the way and replace it with a jumbo battery for the time being. What are you up to? My builder is currently focused on doing digging, which is fine for the time being, but eventually, obviously, we're going to want to change that up a bit. Right, I want that built as a very high priority. There we go. We can get this built reasonably fast. When I say reasonably fast. Understand, though, that a lot of things going on right now. Oh, right. This is just like a glacial pocket. Ah, okay. So it's not a full cold biome. That's a bit of a shame, actually. Nevertheless, we can use this ice to cool down the base. We can just have a couple of icy locations dotted around, like containers with ice in them. And as they get over hot, they'll drip out cold water. It's a small solution. It's a temporary solution, but it will help. Yeah, RimWorld is a ridiculously cheap game for the amount of fun that you get out of it. I could isolate the biome itself, yes. That is definitely something that we could look into. Yeah, sure. We can work on that. That's actually not a bad idea. And then, of course, we'd have to do the lower area as well, unfortunately. We'll isolate this side. But honestly, you know, I'm not sure about this. Simply because the amount of extra work that would involve. The area outside is going to get super hot. We're not going to get away from that. I don't see too much reason to try and keep that from happening right now. Though, let's have a look at the operating temperature here. Up to 40 degrees. Oh, that might be a problem. Yeah, they're getting too hot. No, actually, right now it's more the... Let's have a look. What is your body temperature? We're getting close to the operating maximum. You might be right. You might be on the money there. We may need to isolate certain areas. Though we're not going to be relying on oxyferns for long. The whole idea of locking the outside out rather than locking the inside in. It's interesting because on the surface they're the same thing, but you are quite right. They are different. There's a couple of nuances to this. But let's at least access this and just allow some of this cool to dribble in for now. Right now, the inside of the base is getting rather toasty. There we go. That should be cooling this place down crazy fast. Yeah, you know what? The proximity of this cold biome here, or well, rather this large amount of ice, may just remove the necessity to worry about that overmuch. However, I don't necessarily want this just going everywhere inside the base. So let's bring this down all the way, just so that we get away from some of that. In fact, I am going to get that area level sped up a bit. There's a lot of liquid here. It's starting to thin out a little bit. I don't think we're going to have to worry about it too much, but we'll see. Ice the Energy, thank you very much for the subscription there. You only have one Twitch Prime to use, and you decided to use it here. Talk about. I don't care about the polluted water. This is not a clean water pool in here. But that being said, this probably should be done as a bit of a higher priority. I'm going to allow them to work on the job that I've given them, though. I'm not going to speed that up any more than I already have, because they'll never get it done otherwise. Do need that polluted dirt swept, though. Is there polluted dirt around here? There we go. Sweep that. Diolch yn fawr, Damien. Thank you very much for the 2 months, mate. Second month, best month. Thank you, buddy. Sorry for poking the microphone there. Right now, I don't actually care to have a very large polluted water area. I probably... I can always expand it out later as well. But I do want to have a little area over here as well for polluted dirt. Again, right now, whilst oxygen is a problem, I'm good with keeping that, using that just for purely for sublimation. Pop these in. We'll have deodorizers just dotted around at the points where this stuff is going to be coming up. We'll probably need a good amount of them in here, because eventually we're going to have a lot of water there. Furthermore, we're going to want to have bottle emptiers as well. Okay, how's that dealing with the temperature around here? The water's rising in temperature. That's absorbed a decent amount of heat there, interestingly. But it still needs quite a lot of work. It is an Aavak stream, indeed. I'm glad you're so excited for it. Right, we've got new things to grab. Got some oxalite. I think we're just going to straight up take the 100 kilos of oxalite. Don't even need to think about that one. Let's just allow that one to sublimate and fill this area with oxygen. Almost finished with the insulation there, though. You know what, we're going to speed up time a little bit. Oh dear. Water's managed to make its way in. And that's not awful, per se, but do want this dealt with a little bit faster. Well, actually, I don't want it dealt with over here. That would be silly. There we go. Let's get the worst of this out of the way. I mean, that's going to just annoy you, but... yeah, you're never going to get that done. That will never work, because it's going to leak in faster than you can deal with it. What I need, then, is for this to be done as a much higher priority. There we go. And now that we've actually given it a little bit more room to expand it down there, we should be able to bring this side down. But that is hot water. That's 42 degrees now. It's doing a good job of absorbing a lot of this heat, but we still need to work on that. And now we've got regular water down there. That was a bit of a shame, but almost managed to get that sorted without allowing it to get in here. But well, what can you do? Pop in some ladders for now, just to access this area. Razor Finn, thank you very much for the 5 months, mate. Hi, Aavak. I'm back after a couple of years. I'm glad you're doing more Twitch streams now. Cheers, buddy. Yeah, I am actively bringing heat into the colony right now with all of this water. Unfortunately. So we really do need to get on top of that. I'm so sorry that you're having to deal with that, because like it's a completely different ball game when you're stood in hot water like that. There Cancel the mop jobs. There's no point in it right now. Got too much going on. I'm surprised they're not prioritizing this as much as I would have hoped. There we go. Perfect. Right, now that's a lot of room for us to get this all mopped up. Oh, there is still actually room there. Nice. It's best to work from the top down when it comes to things like this. Otherwise, you're just making more work for yourself. Okay. I say as I clearly don't work from the top down. On the plus side, a lot of this hot water can be used on the ferns. I'm not sure if that's going to contribute to the ferns' body temperature. It probably will. And they do have a shrinking available range of body temperature to work with, but let's see. The murky water mixed with the clean one. Well, I mean, it comes out murky. Unfortunately, that's just the way that one is. There's not a lot I can do about that. Right now, the focus is on just trying to keep things ticking over. We've got enough oxygen to get by, barely, but not by a whole lot. The oxalite up here is probably already gone. Now, if we can tap up there and just allow this stuff to water down. It doesn't actually hurt us to have the clean water in here. And that's not actually going to be an issue. Because then it's just grey water, and this is what this setup is largely going to be used for anyway. The main thing to avoid getting into is over here, where we actually do have clean water. And the same there, same up here. We'll be pumping those where they need to go eventually. How is there polluted dirt all the way up here? Oh, the meal lice will have rotted and become polluted dirt. There we go. Whoosh! Plonk. Now, if I want to, I could have them just mop that up, because the polluted water would be fine to get down here in bottle form. Honestly, having it in bottles, I think is better for sublimation. I could be wrong about that, though. Not entirely certain about that one. Either way, this is actually kind of a little bit of a glitchy way. If this was... I'm fairly certain that there's enough water here that normally we wouldn't be able to mop it, but because there's just enough that there's a small enough amount there that we can mop that, Robert is effectively mopping all of it right now as it's moving around. So we're kind of cheating the system there a little bit. This area as well. Yeah, too much water around here. Too much liquid. But as long as we can get to that reasonably fast, then it won't matter over much. There we go. Strength is rise to 1. Nice. Right, so we got rid of most of the water that came down here through that. So we're back to the case of... yeah, there's just a lot of heat there now. This is still level 7, so... we're going to need to wait for that to be done. Ultimately, if I just insulated this area, it probably would be a bit faster, but... I'm kind of interested to see how much we can push it. A lot of Oxygen Not Included is learning, and a big part of the learning in Oxygen Not Included is for sciencing. There we go. The oxy rate, we're barely managing. Barely. The polluted oxygen is probably doing more work for us right now than I'd care to admit. Unreachable mop. Oh, right, of course. Yeah, that makes sense. What is our resident builder working on right now? In terms of the oxy rate, we've got... oh, wow. That was a particularly bad cycle for us, but usually it's not quite as bad as that. Got a couple of other pockets that we can break into. And as much as I don't want to have to open up these really hot pockets, there is oxygen there for us to get. In terms of our kind of progress here, I've never played on this map before, so a lot of this is just me fiddling around, working out what I would need to prioritize, things like that. Well, now that we've got that area done, I can bump up the priority here to a much higher level and then get the insulation in. Oh, new principle. Fertilizer, dirt, nah, neither really particularly important to me. No, I wouldn't want either of those dupes either. Taking fertilizer, there's no real reason for it. I'll take the dirt instead. There we go. We've almost dealt with that initial issue. Got plenty of polluted oxygen started to fill up there, which is always nice. But, well, I mean, it's realistically nice for us. We do need polluted oxygen. It's going to be one of the main ways that we get oxygen into the base for a little while. Mopping does filter out the polluted water, yeah. They will mop polluted and clean water into separate kind of gallon jugs. But it will not remove the germs. So it's still germy water. Go. Getting most of this done now. I want to just get this last little bit over there. Then we should be good. That's still a fairly high priority. I want to get that one done before we put in the insulation on the roof. But once that's all done, then I'm going to replace this roof with a wall and then insulation, and then the only way in for heat will be around the side here. Granted, there is a lot of heat there already, an awful lot of heat. I was quite hopeful that we had just found a cold biome, because that would have meant we could have tapped into some wheezeworts, but well, what can you do? Are there any signs of cold around here? Not really. Okay. Well, again, we can grab ice and use ice to cool down certain areas. Ice sculptures are a thing as well. But I think it's probably time for us to get a little bit more going with power. The only real big one we need right now is the smart battery. Once we've got the smart battery, I can set up a coal generator to run infrequently, because there's so little power draining equipment around here that it's not going to be a big concern for us. But we'll see.